Average Dude has something to say about...
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode 43, California Superior Court Judge Rape Comments. Yeah, it's another one of these. Southern California Superior Court Judge Derek Johnson. How ironic that his name is Derek Johnson. Johnson as in a slang term for penis, dick, and boy is he ever a dick. Okay, quote, let's get into this. Johnson, former prosecutor in Orange County District Attorney's Sex Crimes Unit, said during the man's 2008 sentencing that he had seen violent cases on that unit in which women's vaginas were shredded by rape. Okay, let me give you some context on this. He's in a tizzy because he made extremely stupid comments. God, this is becoming a trend with men in power. They make the dumbest comments about women's reproductive situations, like we need to go back to boys have a penis, girls have a vagina school. We need to go right back into and be told about the facts of life. It's ridiculous. His comments were about this woman was brutally raped and she was threatened with her life before that. There was a whole lot leading up to it, and he gives crappy comments about this woman, how she didn't defend herself enough, and I'll get to this, but bottom line is he was trying to say that if the vagina wasn't shredded, then she must not have put up enough of a fight. And I wish I was joking about that, but I'm not. And this is a former prosecutor for the Sex Crimes Unit. Ladies, isn't that great? He was the prosecutor for people that did bad things to you. Quote, I'm not a gynecologist. Well, then you shouldn't be making these damn comments about women's reproductive situations then, should you? Let's continue. Quote, but I can tell you something. No, you can't. Continue. If someone doesn't want to have sexual intercourse, the body shuts down. The body will not permit that to happen unless a lot of damage is inflicted, and we heard nothing about that in this case, Johnson said. Breathe in, breathe out. The defense system nonsense again. We have been hearing this for a while now. Does he think that the vagina magically seals up and disappears when someone tries to rape a woman? You buffoon. Good heavens, Johnson. An opening, a hole is a hole. Whether or not it tries to close up and seal, if you ram something in, you're going to penetrate it as long as there's a slit or it doesn't matter. Don't blame stop blaming the victim. I mean, okay, dipshit, I know you don't have a vagina, neither do I, but we all have buttholes, don't we? Guess what happens when you take some type of sticker or rod? You can clamp down those butt cheeks like a vice grip, and if you ram, it's probably going to penetrate. And even if it doesn't, it's still sexual assault. Oh my God, this guy. I'm so tired of these men. And I am a man. And ladies, I can't talk about this from your perspective. I'm a man. I'm not equipped to know what you deal with or whatnot. But men, I'm coming from this situation as a fellow man, and I'm about to break it down for you buttholes. Because that's exactly what you are, especially idiots like Johnson here that are in power. Okay? We're men. And you know what? These women, they are our wives and our daughters. So, what? If it happens to your wife or your daughter, it's all... Because I guarantee you that it would be different in that situation for Dickhead Johnson. Hey, ugh. But you know what? He was blaming the situation because he was having an argument with the defendant's request for a sentencing. Gee, I wonder why, or I should say, this poor woman, not the defendant, she wanted this guy to be prosecuted, and Johnson here had issues with it. Well, let's see what her situation is. Let's see if the victim was pushing the situation too far. Okay, I'm not going to give a drum roll on this one because this I'm getting tired of this when it comes to men and this whole let's blame the victim nonsense, because this could easily apply to anything else. Have you noticed that it's always the victims that have to do more? They have to continue paying the price, they have to continue suffering, because the perpetrator obviously doesn't care. The perpetrator violated the victim's rights to not be accosted and assaulted and all that. Have you noticed how that's the case? It's the victims that end up suffering, that end up, they're the ones that have to go to, therefore they have to go, you need to go to therapy. Why should the victim go to therapy? Why shouldn't the person who commits the crime be the one to face the consequences first of all and pay the price, and then seek counseling, since it was the criminal who pulled the crap to begin with? We don't do that. Have you noticed that? We actually go out of the way to defend criminals, but the victims, they're the ones that have to keep paying. You didn't do enough. What? Oh, what did you do? What did you not do? Screw that. I'm so tired of that. So let's see how the victim looks in this situation. Quote, Johnson made the comments in the case of a man who threatened to mutilate the face and genitals of his ex-girlfriend with a heated screwdriver, beat her with a metal baton, and made other violent threats before committing rape, forced oral copulation, and other crimes. Wow. Quote, he said his comments were the result of his frustration during an argument with a prosecutor over the defendant's sentence. I already mentioned that, but, quote, Johnson said he believed the prosecutor's request of a 16-year sentence was not authorized by law. Johnson sentenced the rapist to 6 years instead, saying that's what the case is worth. Johnson, you son of a bitch. You vile piece of crap. You remember this moment. Remember the moment that these words came out of your mouth, because your career is screwed and the internet exists, and welcome to the first day of the rest of your life where you are going to be given so much crap, and deservedly so. You are a judge. You are supposed to be impartial, you jackass. This is what you had a problem with? A woman who threatened to have her face and genitals mutilated with a heated screwdriver and beat her with a metal baton? And rape was committed, forced oral copulation, and wow! You piece of shit, Johnson. You are a Johnson. You're a big tallywhacker. You are an absolute dick. 6 years. Women, I want you to pay attention to that. Men, I want you to pay attention to this, because this is a judge saying this. When something, when the unspeakable happens to you, women, and men, when the unspeakable happens to your wives and your daughters, this is what the men in power will say. 6 years instead, because that's what it's worth.